Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome back. Welcome back. It's been a fucking long time since the last episode of Drink Driving, the alcoholic driving podcast, is what I'm going to call it from now on, because it is kind of a podcast. You don't pay to watch. You don't watch this to see me play Euro Truck. You watch this to listen to me ramble on about some stupid bullshit. And today's fuel is Punchy, a 4% volume punch. Whiskey, blood orange, bitters, and cardamom. Oh boy. This is labelled as vegan, gluten-free, with no preservatives and no artificial sweeteners. And 100% recyclable can, so that's going to be good. Now, I'm not usually a whiskey drinker, so this could be interesting. It's only one unit, so I'm probably not going to get too much of a buzz from it. But it should see us through this episode. Let's get this bad boy open. I can't open it. Why can't I open it? Oh, there it is. Oh, blimey, that's... yeah, I can definitely smell the cardamom. Now I'm getting a hint of orange, which is good. Let's take a nice sip. It's not bad. Definitely getting the orange and the cardamom in there. Not so much the alcohol. No, there's the alcohol. Alright. That is actually really nice. Surprisingly nice. I didn't actually think I'd like that, but that's pretty good. So that's going to be fueling us today, as we should also note that my save file got destroyed when my PC exploded in fire. Not great. So let's get a nice decent... how long is this journey? That's going to be pretty good. So today's subject is one that I've been thinking about making a video for a while, because it's a subject that I feel I wanted to cover. It's something that I think about a lot, and that's the idea that playing games on easy mode... Where the fuck am I supposed to go here? That playing games on easy mode is the wrong way to play a game. It's something that I was like thinking about for a while, because I am not good at video games. I'm a casual gamer at heart, so I'm not great at most video games. So for me, playing on easy mode is probably the best way for me to play. I have no idea how to get out of this this area. So yeah, it's something that it feels like in the gaming community is something that should be looked down on, something that you should be like ashamed about in extreme words. But to me, I mean, there's like, if a developer didn't want someone who's not necessarily good at video games to be playing their video game, they wouldn't put in, an easy mode. That's just it. I know it's not necessarily regarded as the ideal way to play the game. It's not the designed way to play the game, but it's like having... I did have notes for this episode, by the way, but I can't find them for some reason. They seem to have just disappeared from my files. It's like, I think of it as sort of like an accessibility option. Not to like bring down accessibility options, but like, there's so many games out there that so many different people play. There's so many different kinds of games for all sorts of different kinds of people, and a lot of people want to play a lot of different kinds of games. So when you have someone like me who's fucking garbage at video games, having an easy mode means that I get to experience more games than I usually would. I'm not restricted to fucking Wii Sports. I can still jump into Doom and Wolfenstein and play those games if I wanted to, and I won't be restricted by the fact that I can't get past certain levels. Um, so I think it was like I used to feel like, oh, I'm not a real gamer if I play on easy mode, because that's the way that most people would consider. That's what most people would think. Is that if you're not playing on like normal or veteran or whatever, you're not playing the game correctly. I think that's something that we also need to like think about, because there's no. I don't necessarily believe that there is a correct way to play most games. I think there are instances of wrong ways of playing it, but I don't think there's necessarily a correct way. Stuff like how recently people have been using Animal Crossing, for example, to create sort of black markets for villagers. I think that's the wrong way to be playing that game, because that's kind of a scummy way to be doing it. But yeah, there's not necessarily a correct way to play a game. There's so many games that have so many different like ways to play them. Like even in the casual game market, even in the casual game markets, let's use Wii Sports as another example. You can just play casually, just play with family and friends, but there's also like challenge options. There's also achievements that you can try to obtain, especially in Wii Sports 2 or Wii Sports Resort. There are various like little achievements you can work towards that aren't necessarily geared towards the more casual player, but it's there to give more. It's there to give more people the opportunity to play the game for something. It's there for the slightly less casual people who actually want something to work towards. Other than the more casual market who just want to play it whenever grandma wants to play Wii Bowling or something. And I think that also applies to the more hardcore games. Going back to Doom, I think Doom was the first game where I thought to myself, fuck it, I'm not going to be ashamed of turning on Don't Hurt Me mode, because the shame that gets put on people like me who play games on easy mode is can become overwhelming, and you do feel like you're doing something wrong. Especially when people look down on you and say, "Oh, well, you're not playing the game correctly. You should be playing on hard mode. You're not getting the right experience." And that's what I would think. I would think I'm not playing this game the way that it's supposed to be played. I'm not getting the right experience, so I should suffer through dying over and over again because I'm a shit gamer. But when it came to Doom, I thought to myself, well, I bought this game because I like the ultra cartoony violence of shooting demons, and if the demons are constantly killing me, I'm not getting that experience. I didn't necessarily buy the game for the challenge. I bought the game because I wanted the power trip. I wanted to, rip and tear until it's done, and I couldn't do that in normal mode because I was so fucking bad at aiming. So I turned down the difficulty to easy, and lo and behold, I started actually having way more fun with it. So from that point on, I thought to myself, well, if I'm not having fun with the game, then clearly it's nothing to do with the fact that it's nothing to do with me playing it wrong. Because surely that is playing it wrong. If you're not having fun with a game, if you're not having fun with a game that is good, that is a good game, then maybe that is another way that you could be playing a game wrong. If you're not enjoying the experience, then what the fuck's the point? You might as well just be in a mind-numbing job, because at least then you get paid for it. But if you're not enjoying the experience of the game, why play it? So, putting this arbitrary rule on other people, saying, "Oh, you're not playing it properly because you're playing on easy mode," is something that I really think that we should be not doing. If that makes sense. We shouldn't be looking down on these people who want to have, a similar experience to everyone else. but can't, because that's the thing about games. There's a, I think it was part of a Dara O'Brien stand-up bit where he mentions how video games are just a completely different form of media, because no book or TV show will stop you halfway through and start quizzing you. Video games are at least story-based games. They're games that will gate off the rest of the game if you can't pass the test of the difficulty. So if you want to experience the rest of this game, and I'm a story guy. I enjoy a lot of games for their story, as well as gameplay, on top of gameplay. If the gameplay is good but the story is awful, then I won't necessarily enjoy it. You've got to have that middle ground of a decent story and decent gameplay. So if I can't experience the story that I paid my £50-60 for, then why not? Why not put it onto easy so I can, experience the rest of this game? It just seems silly to tell people, oh, you don't deserve to see the rest of this game because you're not good enough to beat this difficulty. I think it also stems from like a lack of empathy. Not to sound too over dramatic, but I think this viewpoint comes a lot of the time comes from people who are at least somewhat decent at the game in question. So I'm not sure they fully understand that other people aren't exactly having the same experiences as them. They don't enjoy dying over and over again at one game, on one level, just to see the end of the game. It just and I mean, there are plenty of difficult games there are plenty of games with like a singular difficulty level that I have finished and I have enjoyed. So maybe if I did stick my head down and really put some effort into getting better at the game, maybe I would enjoy it. Like Shovel Knight, for instance. Shovel Knight's a game with a singular difficulty level. It's a challenging game, and I have beaten the main Shovel Knight mode. I've gotten through most of Plague Knight, and I finished Spectre of Torment. Haven't finished King Knight yet because I'm fucking bad at strategy games. But that is a game with a singular difficulty level that will kick your ass if you're not, if you don't learn the mechanics and so on. But there are other games with like singular difficulty levels that I can't stand. Like what was the recent one? Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. That game is extremely punishing. It's good, but I can't stand it. I just find it way too difficult, especially in the boss fights. If you die during the very end of the boss fight, you have to go all the way back to the start. And that works the same for games like Cuphead. That is an extremely difficult game, but Cuphead has an easier mode. It has an easy mode where you don't have to do like every phase of each boss fight, and I enjoy that. I like that because that is giving people like me who aren't good at the game the opportunity to experience the entirety of the game. There are literal entire sections of that game that I would not be able to play if it didn't have that assist mode. And I think there's another subject, there's another part of this lack of empathy that also bugs me. It's when people are upset that there's an easy mode. It's this ridiculous elitist position where they're like, oh well, if this person can't handle the difficulty, they don't deserve to play the game. And there's an easy argument for that. It's just well, don't play the easy mode. It's not ruining your experience of the game if other people are playing the game. Especially if it's an offline game. If it's a single player game, why should it matter that other people are enjoying this game in a different way? that should be something that's celebrated, surely, because more people are enjoying this game. You can talk about this game to other people. You can discuss how good this game is. Like, there's that one fucking comment. There was an article. I can't remember who it was by or what website it was on, but it was an article on the From Software game Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. I'm sure I fucking butchered that name. But the article was about how the player couldn't get a hang of the countering system, because or parrying or whatever system, because that is a very parry centered game. So they downloaded a mod that made the parry window a lot larger, and I think the entire article was just about how they cheated in Sekiro, and they didn't care. And they shouldn't care. They shouldn't give a shit. But there was a comment underneath. It's so beautifully worded. It's such ridiculousness. Where it's like, you didn't cheat. You cheated yourself. You didn't learn. I'm going to look at this up actually. Let me just try and find it. I'm going to bring out my phone while I'm driving. You cheated. It's oh shit. It's such a beautifully written comment that it almost seems like satire. It's so stupid. Alright, yeah, here's a fucking BBC article on it. You cheated not only the game, but yourself. You didn't grow, you didn't improve, you took a shortcut and gained nothing. You experienced a hollow victory, nothing was risked and nothing was gained. It's sad that you don't know the difference. It sounds like a fucking parody account, honestly. It's so stupid. Like, it's not affecting you. You're nothing. It's somebody's just played through the game that you enjoy. Great. That should be a good thing. That should be celebrated. Just because they fucking played it differently in your eyes does not mean that you should fucking belittle this person or write some ridiculous tweet in response to it. It's so dumb. It's so ridiculous. It's just a game. And on that subject, let's talk about Ninja. So, I think this was... I don't know what this was. I don't know how this came about, but it was in response to something. But that fucking, like, Fortnite streamer Ninja made some ridiculous comment. God, you can really smell the cardamom on this. It's really good. I really like this. I think it was Ninja wrote like some ridiculous like post about the phrase "it's just a game," and I'll find that post in a second when I park. But he was going on a sort of a mini rant about how the phrase "it's just a game" just devalues something. It like it's like how treating video games as just games is a ridiculous notion. And that you should be as competitive as you possibly can be in all games that you play. Ever. Now, I'm a competitive person. So, in a sense, I empathise. But at the same time, you know, people play games for different reasons. If it's not, I say, if it's not in like a competitive, I'm not gonna bark because fuck that. If it's not like in a competitive environment, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. Let's see if I can find the article before all this loads in. Ninja, it's just a game. There we go. It's a fucking copy pasta. That's the best bit. I know I'm going so ridiculous. The phrase "it's just a game" is such a weak mindset. You are okay with what happened, losing, imperfection of a craft. When you stop getting angry after losing, you've lost twice. There's always something to learn and always room for improvement. Never settle. Now, that last bit is true, but obviously the build-up to that quote is just fucking ridiculous. Let's go with high-value cargo. Why not? It's such a weak mindset. Like, dude... Okay, so you're a professional fucking Fortnite player. I understand that, but if you're not playing video games in a professional setting, it shouldn't matter. You know? It should not matter. It's just a game. Why are you so mad? I get angry at games. I know I do. I always get it. I'm an angry person. It's just in my nature. But like, surely not getting angry at a game is probably more of a good thing. Because you're not getting fucking stressed out over a video game. If you're playing it in a professional capacity, yes. But otherwise, it's just a game. And that's a mindset that needs to be, you know, embraced by those people who claim that playing games on easy mode is bad. Because it's just a game. At the end of the day, it's not devaluing your experience. It's just a game. And then you've got people who, again, going back to like, there's so many people who argue against having easy modes in games. It's like, why? What? Yeah, okay, so maybe it might take the developers a little bit longer to bring the game out, but especially if the easy mode is added in by modders, like in the case of Sekiro. I think it's pronounced Sekiro. I've been pronouncing it fucking wrong this whole time. Especially in the case of Sekiro, where it's just a third-party mod that, again, does not affect your own fucking experience of the game. It's just making somebody else's experience of the game a lot less frustrating. And, like, frustration and anger is not something that you should be experiencing when you're playing a video game. Because that's not what games are for. Surely games are for enjoyment. For the most part. Unless they're, like, educational video games. Fucking Mavis Big. But even then, they should still be enjoyable. They shouldn't be fucking boring, otherwise you've fucked up your job. Make something like Mario Teaches Typing instead. I'm trying to like tie it all back to where I was at. Anyway, back to Doom. So I did originally play Doom 2016 on, like, I think it was normal mode for most of the game. I played it the proper way. I hope you can hear the air quotes there. For most of the game, but after a while it just got too much, and I just kept dying on over and over again at the same level. So I said, "Fuck it, I'll stick it on easy." And since then, I've basically been putting most games, especially FPS games, which I'm god awful at. I've been sticking them on easy. I do enjoy challenge once in a while, but sometimes sometimes it's just better to you know, to have that power trip. And you know, because that's what games like Doom should be. They should be empowering. You know, when I shoot a guy with a shotgun point blank, I don't want him to just stagger a little bit. I want the fucker to explode, and that's what you get in Doom. At least when you have it on a decently low difficulty. You look at an imp, you aim your shotgun right at his head, you click, it explodes. Meanwhile, there's games like Half-Life, which I've gone record of saying that I can't fucking stand, where you put it on easy mode, you get right up in front of a human, I should add, a human's face, with a shotgun, shoot them point blank, and it does fuck all. Like, what the fuck is that? Does this fucking truck have cruise control? Yeah, I think it does. But anyway, I'm getting fucking way off topic. Where was I? I mean, please, like, explain to me why people get so mad about other people playing games on easy mode. If it's a 1v1 competitive game, obviously there shouldn't be an easy mode for one and a hard mode for another player. But who gives a shit? It's not your video gaming experience that's getting affected. That's the main point I'm trying to make. If I want to play a game on easy, I'll play it on fucking easy. And you can't shame me about that anymore. I don't give a fuck. I used to be ashamed, and now I'm not, because I learnt that it doesn't fucking matter. If you hate playing difficult games and you put that game on easy, Don't let the other people put you down for it. You enjoy your game the way you want to enjoy your game. You know? I'm playing this game right now with a fucking automatic vehicle because I can't be bothered with gears, and that would drive some people nuts. Hell, I know people who go insane because other people don't drive automatic cars, and it's the same thing. I don't want to deal with fucking clutch pedals and changing gears. That's not fun. That's not an enjoyable experience for me. It's an enjoyable experience for some people. I get that. I'm not saying that all cars should be I'm not saying that all cars should be automatic. People can enjoy their manual car driving experience. That's fine. But let me enjoy my own, the way I want to enjoy it, not by some other person's arbitrary rules. I know we've gone slightly off topic here, but in a sense it's still on topic because we are driving. And I've got to fucking fill in the rest of this journey. What the fuck is that noise? Am I getting abducted by aliens right now? But yeah, what I'm saying to anyone listening who feels like they're not, they're being devalued by those naysayers who say you should play the game a specific way. Don't let them get to you. You play that fucking game how you want. You play whatever fucking game you want. That's fine. Play any game you want. Play any game the way you want. Don't let other people, put you down for playing the game that you want to play. As long as you're not affecting someone else, it shouldn't matter. As long as you're not hurting someone else, why should it matter? There's a jumping off point. There's something political there, but I'm not going to do it. This is really good. Not getting a buzz, but that's fine. That's the thing. For those of you those of you out there who devalue people for playing on easy mode, fuck off. Why does it matter to you? Why does it matter to you that someone else is playing the same game differently? Let them experience that game the way they want to experience it. Then maybe you have, a talking point. You can discuss that game. Discuss the story. Discuss the gameplay. Easy modes don't always change the game that drastically that you won't have some sort of talking point. It might add less enemies or whatever. But you'll still have something to talk about. It's not the exact same experience, but it's the same game. I can talk to people about going back to Doom again, Doom 2016. I can go, I can discuss how good of a game that is. I can discuss the experiences I've had with that game, and relate to other people. Just because it takes a few less fucking shotgun shots to kill the same demon, doesn't matter. I still experience the game. I still experience the feeling of rushing around an area and shooting and tearing demons to pieces. Just because I died less times doesn't make the experience any different. And I'm skirting around a very specific game which I could use in this argument, and I'll get to it at some point. But there's so many games. There's games out there that I really would like to try at some point, but I just can't because I'm just bad at games. Like what else was there? Thumper. There's a game. Thumper's a really good game. Thumper's like for those who don't know, Thumper is a rhythm. It keeps getting quoted as like a rhythm horror game. I don't think that's necessarily true. But there comes a point in that game specifically where I literally cannot continue it because my reaction speeds are not fast enough, and that's just a fact. There's probably some way for me to improve my reaction timings, but my reaction times are not good compared to most people. So there comes a point in that game where I just have to stop because I can't continue, and that sucks. Because I want to play the rest of that game, but I literally can't. Physically can't do it. Because I'm just not good enough. Maybe if I keep playing it, maybe, you know, maybe I'll get better at it and I'll be able to anticipate shit more. Or maybe it just becomes a game of fucking Simon Says, where I just learn the patterns. Like a fucking Guitar Hero song. But that's not fun to me. It might be fun to some people, but it's not fun to me. So there comes a point where I just have to stop playing. Where I just stop playing that game because it becomes more of a pain, more of a chore to play than it does, you know, than it is fun. It's a fantastic game. It really is. I would recommend it to anyone who likes rhythm games. But you know, I can't enjoy it. I can't play the full game because I can't beat it. And to bring it back to Shovel Knight. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but the Plague Knight campaign in that game, you know, I didn't finish it because it just got to the point where I wasn't good enough at it, and that's sad because I fucking love Shovel Knight. I love everything about everything about Shovel Knight except the card game because I'm terrible at the card game. And it's sad that I can't, you know, experience that full. I can't get the full experience of that game because I can't finish it. We're getting close to the end because I'm running out of shit to talk about. I think another thing that sort of sparked this another thing that like led me to wanting to talk about this, as well as sort of Doom 2016 situation, is there was a donkey video. There was a video game donkey video ages ago. Fucking ages ago. This video is so late if I wanted to title this fucking RE donkey, but there was a donkey video about difficulty in video games, and I get where he's coming from, but there's a couple of remarks in there that... What? Oh, fuck's sake. I didn't realize I had to have my fucking brights on. There's like a couple of like kind of snide remarks in there. Like when he's talking about Halo, he points out that if you, it almost feels like he's saying if you're a true gamer. I know he's not, but he's like, oh, you should disregard easy and normal if you're an adult still playing video games. I think is the phrase. I did watch it before making this video. But there's comments like that that just sort of rub me the wrong way because, again, I'm repeating myself, but I feel like it needs to be repeated. Why does it matter? Why does it matter to you if I'm playing a game on easy or medium? You know? Maybe it's not the dev intended experience, but if it's not the dev intended experience, why do they fucking put it in there? How am I supposed to enjoy, you know, how am I supposed to experience this game like everyone else has, if I can't play the game, if I can't finish the game, if I'm constantly dying because I'm so bad at video games? How am I supposed to experience this game that I keep hearing so much about if I literally can't play it because I'm so bad at it? Just took my finger off the fucking pedal just to take a last sip of that drink. Ooh. Ooh, it's like crunching down on a cardamom. So, oh, Halo's the best game ever made. Great. But if I can't, you know, if I can't get past the first few levels, well, that's a bad example, but if I get stuck at a certain level, how am I supposed to figure out why this game is, you know, regarded as one of the greatest games of all time if I can't even finish the game? And playing on easy will allow me to finish that game, and it'll allow me to join in the discussions about how good the game is, you know? But I can't do that if I can't finish the game. If my enjoyment is hampered by the fact that I'm, you know, having just a frustrating time, I'm going to think the game is shit. I'm going to hate the game. I hate Half-Life 1 because it feels needlessly difficult. I hate a lot of NES games because they feel needlessly difficult. And how does that? Surely that devalues the game. Because if less people are enjoying that game, then I've completely lost the point where I'm at. And this journey's still going, and I haven't really got much else to say. That's the problem. I'll dip my toes into fucking difficult games, and sometimes I enjoy them. When Fallout 4 released the survival mode, I was like, it's probably not going to be for me. And I gave it a go and thought, yeah, this is pretty good. But because I was so bad at games, it got to the point where I was dying so much and just losing my progress. Because you only get to save at you can only save at beds. So you'd play for a fucking hour or an extended period of time and die, and then all your progress would be set back. And that wasn't an enjoyable experience. So my experience is then devalued because I'm getting overly frustrated at a game that I feel is. I mean, Fallout 4 is not exactly the best example because it's not really the best made game. But my experience of that game isn't. If I'm not having fun, then what's the point? What is the point? I'm repeating myself over and over again, but if I'm not having fun, what is the point? I don't play games to be frustrated. I don't play games. I don't play games I don't play games for work. I play games for enjoyment. And if the game isn't fun, why bother? Why bother? What's the point of playing a game that I know I'm not going to enjoy? I'm just not going to do it. Likewise, I'm not going to play a game on a ridiculously crushing difficulty, just because that's the way the game is supposed to be played. Because it's not fun. If it's not fun, why bother? I'm a casual gamer at heart. Them's just the facts. I'm going to enjoy a moderate level of difficulty. I'm going to enjoy coasting through a game with no major obstacles. That's just me. That's just how I am. And it's not. Again, if it ain't a multiplayer game, it doesn't affect you. You can continue to play the game on whatever difficulty you want, and I'm happy for you. I'm there for you. I'm not gonna tell you that hard difficulty is the wrong way to do it, because that's just not true. There is no right way to play a game. It's all based on how much you enjoy it. But that does bring me on to another subject, a subject that completely invalidates this entire video because it just doesn't make any sense. How I, a casual gamer who has fucking hundreds of hours in Wii Sports and Minecraft, can possibly enjoy a game like Dark Souls. And yet I do. And to figure out why I enjoy Dark Souls, I'm gonna need some help. I can't figure this conundrum out alone. So next time, we'll be talking about why I, a casual gamer, fucking loves the Dark Souls series, and I won't be alone. It dawned on me as I was editing that I did not actually review the alcoholic drink that I drank, so I give the Punchy Whiskey Blood Orange Bitters and Cardamom an 8 out of 10. The cardamom and blood orange actually really works together. So next time, if there even is a next time, I'll see you then. This is Retro J, signing off. See you next time.